Welcome back to Mirror Readings. I'm Molly, and we're talking about the pathways of our Pearl sequence right now. So each sequence contains a pathway of challenge, breakthrough, and core stability. But in the Pearl sequence, this plays out a little bit differently. Let me show you. In the Pearl sequence, our life's work is known as our personal brand, and it's where our profile both begins and ends. It forms a circuit. So here, this pathway of breakthrough is going to connect our culture to our personal brand, also our life's work, okay? And that's the path of growth. And then the path of service, here we go, bing bong, is going to connect our vocation, okay? So that's our core, back into our life's work, aka our personal brand. Are you with me? As we learned in our last video, prosperity is a group growth. Okay, we don't typically make money in total isolation. We need other people to be prosperous. So as we set out on the path of initiative that connects our core to our culture, so we're on our way to that growth. Initiative inherently promotes growth, even if we fail. So this is connecting, again, our culture sphere to our life's work, which is also our personal brand. So how we grow from the shadow of our culture back into that gift of our life's work has a lot to say about how we fit in socially. So because I have gene key 19 in my culture sphere, that shadow of codependence, I can't grow to embody my life's work. I can't grow to fully get the total extent of the bag I'm capable of holding until I leave that shadow of codependence behind. That's my pathway of growth. So before I start searching Codependence Anonymous meetings, let me just read you really quickly from the Pearl sequence book. The pathway of growth has many dimensions to it. This is as much about spiritual growth as it is about material growth. Okay, I have to remind myself of that. This is as much about spiritual prosperity as financial and social prosperity. All right, money can easily occupy a huge amount of our time, either through earning it or worrying about earning it, and this can very easily kill off a whole life without us even noticing until it's too late. One of the secrets of prosperity is therefore to design your business around your lifestyle rather than letting it dictate the quality of your own life. Okay, very easy for privileged white guy to say, blah, 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 insert progressive, aggressive isms, but you know what I mean. Not everyone can do it. But as we start awakening to ourselves, we get out of these survival mentalities and our circumstances can start to change just from us opening our hearts and our minds to our own gifts. The goal of this pathway of growth, right, this breakthrough, is to get us into synergy. So synergy is defined as the ability to draw others together and enthuse and inspire them in such a way that their individual gifts create a higher energetic field. Synergy elevates the elements of hierarchy into creative communion. So it has all of the elements of hierarchy without the ego. We can imagine how different our world could be if this were to become the normal business model on a global scale. Yeah, humanity could actually get creative about solving its own challenges. So the whole point of this path of growth is to take us to this level, right, where we're able to fully be immersed in a synergetic situation, all right? We're able to be part of the whole. We're part of a collective organism, and that plays out in our professional lives and our social lives. So for me, that 19th gift in my culture of sensitivity, which asks me to become an independent emotional being before, sensitive to my own needs before becoming sensitive to the needs of others, that automatically puts me on this growth path. I can't participate in any type of synergistic professional or social situation truly with all my being if I'm in that 19th shadow of codependence in my culture. So, okay, gonna go look up those meetings now. But wait, there's more. The pathway of service that takes us from our core back into our life's work, also known as our personal brand, in the Pearl sequence. Okay, ooh, this is going to open the solar Taurus. Into it. So this pathway of service is a breakthrough because it takes us back into our core, right? Where our core wound becomes our core stability, which becomes our vocation. But a different flavor emerges from this core. We're able to use it as a muse. So This is what he means by the torus. A torus is a natural dynamic process in which all of the energy within a system gets fed back into itself, okay? Energy within a system is recycled back into the system, giving further fuel and drive to the evolutionary process. So as our wounds become our muse and a guiding point, right? It's sort of like a lighthouse looking at this wound and how it translates into what we're supposed to be doing in this world and how it comes back into our life's work. And spoiler, it has a lot to do with service. How do we serve ourselves? How do we serve the community? How do we serve the creator? What higher ideal are we serving? Because the higher ideal represented by the torus is transmutation. It's turning pain into fuel. So the torus is a holistic model for energy dynamics because we are part of the whole. The more parts that serve the whole, the more prosperous that whole will be. As we learn to offer our vocation and growth in service to a higher ideal, so our wounds are healed. We can also just decide that whatever negativity we're feeling inside, we can alleviate someone else's negativity, and then there we are on that pathway of service, having a breakthrough and about to quantum leap right to our pearl, right to our big bag. And spiritual abundance, of course. But that spiritual abundance is how we know in our hearts that to serve the whole is to serve ourselves, and that's the way to go. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. I'm Molly, you're watching Mirror Readings, and if you'd like to get a Gene Keys reading from me, head on over to my website, mirrorreadings.com. Do you like this channel? Perhaps you should subscribe. You'll save 15% on all my readings offerings, and it's gonna be fun. So do it. Press the bing. There you go. You did it.